Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to Forgotten Weapons. I'm Ian McCollum, and if you're new to the channel, what you can expect to find here is hopefully the most guns that you've never seen anywhere else. I do my best to go out there to private collections, museums, auction houses, and anywhere else that comes up and find guns that are unusual and interesting. They may be prototypes, they may be commercial failures of guns, they may be brand new guns, maybe, that you haven't seen before that are innovative and different in some way. They may be foreign military weapons that simply don't get into the United States very often, or anything else that makes a gun particularly interesting. There are times when we'll take a look at guns that are actually fairly common as well, but there may be a lot of elements to their story that you may not know. So we'll touch on the interesting history of these guns, as well as their mechanical disassembly, and whenever possible, shooting. Not possible as much as I'd like, but from time to time we do get to shoot some pretty cool stuff out on the range. So do stay away from politics here. This is an open and friendly environment for anyone who's interested in the history and the mechanics of firearms. 2016 was a really great year. I got to travel to a bunch of interesting places, bring you guys video from places like the Cody Museum. We just started a couple videos from the Institute of Military Technology. There will be more of those coming. That's a fantastic collection. Of course, the Rock Island Auction House and the James D. Julia Auction House, several times each during the year. Fantastic guns at both of those locations as well. And you know what? 2017, I think, is going to be even better still. So one of the things that I did, it was actually, I think, late 2015, was finally, after being pestered by a bunch of people for a while, I started a Patreon account. And I didn't really expect it would do a whole lot, and you guys have really blown away my wildest expectations. I put a goal on there that was legitimate, but I didn't really think I'd ever actually hit, of $5,000 a month in order to fund international travel. And lo and behold, as I'm putting this video out, we are right at the cusp of hitting that goal. By the time you watch this, I'm sure we'll have crossed it. And so, of course, I saw that coming, and I am extremely excited about the possibilities that this kind of funding gives, and I've already got a couple of trips planned for 2017. I don't want to, in some ways, I don't want to say too much because nothing's actually guaranteed until the video's in the bag and ready to be published, but at the same time, there's some really cool and exciting stuff coming up. So the two that I'm pretty sure of are, it looks like I will be going to the Pattern Room early in 2017, and I will also be taking a trip into France. Now, French gun collectors, and some of you watching this I'm sure are French and will recognize this about yourselves, are kind of famously tight-lipped and, not to say paranoid, but concerned about publicity of their collections. So it's kind of famously difficult to get to take a look at French gun collections. So I don't know exactly what I will be able to get for you guys directly on this trip, but I'm hoping that it will be a good way for me to set up some future visits where I can really get into some very cool collections and show you some things from a country that really is the heart of a lot of modern firearms development that isn't well known anymore. In addition to international travel, I also have a bunch of cool trips planned in the US for this year. We'll be going back to the Cody Museum again to take a look at some more of their cool stuff. Of course, we will be doing multiple auctions at both James D. Julia and the Rock Island Auction Company. The first one of those will actually start pretty shortly after this video airs. So we've got a bunch of that coming up. The auction houses, of course, are this fantastic gathering point of guns where great collections and just all manner of interesting things that are going to be sold are delivered to the auction house, and then I can go there and kind of take my pick of guns that it would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, for me to find individually on my own. So fantastic collaboration we have with those two companies, and that will certainly continue all the way through 2017. Looking forward to that. Maybe doing another trip to the Institute of Military Technology later in the year. I may be doing some travel up to Canada. I have a couple of possibilities in mind. Again, I don't want to say something and then have it fall through, but at the same time, I want to let you guys know that there are these very cool possibilities coming up. So a couple different things in Canada. That's technically international, but it's the same continent. It's just right across an invisible line on the ground. And, of course, in addition to traveling to see guns at other places, we will be doing some more video on some of my own collection. I kind of tend to keep these in reserve for times when I may not be able to have video ready to go from other places, but there are a couple specific things that I am planning on doing in 2017. In particular, I would like to do a large series on Japanese rifles and on French rifles, because I have pretty decent collections of both of those, and they're underappreciated, and I think it'd be really cool to get some of the history of those out. So hopefully, cross your fingers, time permitting and all else permitting, we'll have a couple cool series like that in 2017. And then, of course, as time allows, we will also have a variety of other interesting guns that, since they're mine, we can go out and do a bunch of shooting with. Things like Old West guns. This guy here is a Winchester Hotchkiss 1883 pattern, bolt action repeating 4570. Really cool gun. After looking for a very long time, I did get my hands finally on my own Hotchkiss Universal. This is a semi-auto carbine. I'm still working on the SBR process to get rid of this thing. But once that's done, we'll be able to go out and do some shooting with this guy, which is the world's coolest folding gun ever. That out. So that'll be coming in 2017. And then, of course, various other guns that come up. FN-49 is something I've had a lot of people request. I suppose it's not technically a forgotten weapon, but these are really interesting guns. And again, I think there's some great history out there that isn't well known and well understood. And so we'll definitely be covering some of this type of material as well. So that's just a taste of what's going to be coming in 2017 on the channel. Tons of forgotten weapons for you guys. There are other plans I have in the works that may or may not come through, so I don't want to raise expectations about those. And of course, who knows what kind of opportunities will arise during the year that I can't predict yet. We do finally, actually I should have mentioned this earlier, I finally have shirts and other swag and merchandise stuff. I've been having people ask me for that for literally years, and I apologize, it's kind of a one-man operation here, and I just haven't had the available mental capital to deal with getting that up and running. But it is now, so I have a couple samples actually coming to me in the mail right now, and as soon as they arrive, we'll do a second video talking about that stuff. But that's actually here for those of you guys who wanted it. And of course, a huge thank you to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. You guys are truly making this something way better than I would have ever imagined it could be. So stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe on Full30 and on YouTube to get all of the awesome forgotten weapons that are coming through 2017. And thank you very much for watching.